the big trade conversation centers around Davante Adams. And I've talked about it multiple times in this show. Of all the ESPN writers, Bill Barnwell is the one that I really pay attention to. I read everything he writes. I don't always agree, but he's by far the best NFL voice, mind, and writer that ESPN has. And he didn't say anything too crazy here. The potential of Davante Adams to go to the Jets, right? You've got a win now team, win right this second team in the Jets. They're pushing all their chips in the middle. They're leveraging the future for the now, which is what they should be doing. When you have Aaron Rodgers and, this old, this close to his contract, a defense this good that's going to age out and get expensive soon, they're doing the right moves. And if it comes down to it, would we trade Davante Adams to the Jets? It's obviously not happening right now, but God forbid, right? We start out 2-6. Things aren't going that way. Minshew gets pulled. Favre plays. Favre gets pulled. Minshew, but whatever reason. Do we trade Davante Adams, and if so, for what?
Yeah, if it's a tough start to the season, I think that we go ahead and do it, because it's ultimately, why are you keeping him here? Mm-hmm. If you're out of contention already. Now, technically, you're not out of contention until you're mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. But as you said, if you're hopping back and forth between quarterbacks and stuff like that, if that happens, then yeah, I think you should take a look at doing it, because the cap hit next year is going to be beefy.
Well, it'll be. We're not doing the funny. It's not guaranteed money. There's for sure that contract,
$45 million or something like that. Some weird.
Yeah,
shit.
That contract. Yeah, that contract next. That's. That after this season or before that contract, they're going to throw that thing in the fireplace and try something else.
Yeah, so I think we flip them, probably get, at this point, maybe a 2 and a 3. Mm-hmm. A couple of 2s, maybe. 2 and a 3, I think, probably be pretty feasible.
Now, here's the other part of this equation. You run into a give and take here. Let's say we're 2-6, but Davante's playing great. Last year was an aberration. It was just Josh McDaniels and Jimmy Garoppolo. He's still just at 31. He's just as good as he's always been. He's still A+.
I think he is.
If he is, do you want to trade him when we're obviously going to go all for a quarterback next season? And if we're doing terrible, we're probably going to have a very high draft pick and a real good shot of getting, a top quarterback. Do you want Davante Adams on the team next season to help your rookie quarterback that could use a super experienced, super talented, super diverse Davante Adams that always gets open? That's the balance you got to play.
It is balance. I just I think that you get to a point when it happens. Sometimes it happens sooner. Sometimes it happens later with specific players, but their salary is going to outweigh their contributions to the team at that point. If you have a rookie quarterback who's just learning the game, and maybe you use that money elsewhere, it's great to have, but typically you'd want to pair a young quarterback with a young receiver, and they'll grow together. Mm-hmm. But I think he's kind of towards Davante is towards the part of his career where he's going to either plateau or start to do a slight decline, but that paycheck is not going to decline. That paycheck's only going to go up.
Well, this is a prove it year for him, because it's, not technically, but it is essentially the last year of his contract, right? Like this, he's not getting that funny money after this year, right? And last year was his worst year since he became Davante Adams, since year 4 or whatever, when he was still kind of learning his way. So he needs to deliver too, to prove to either the Raiders or one of the other 31 teams that may potentially trade for him. Like Davante needs to deliver and prove that last season wasn't a fluke. So it's not as easy as Davante is Davante. If the Raiders are good, they keep him and try to win. If they're bad, they trade him and move on, because Davante has to prove he's Davante. It's a contract year, so what are you going to pay for it? I think if the Jets are crushing it and they maybe a receiver goes down, we can get them to overpay. maybe a different conversation. They're just like, look, we're a Super Bowl team, but we just lost our one. Here's a first, right? Or something crazy because they're in desperation. The conversation moves around, but it's nowhere near as easy to me as it's not cut and dry, as simple as like, if we're losing, we'll trade him. If we're winning, we keep him.
Hey, you made it to the end of our video. Great job. I know you want more. Go ahead and click the next video. And if you're feeling crazy, go ahead and subscribe.